about that with our server about how you used to be able to like go get Pella brunch.
Oh, yep, you get because it was those buns.
But let me. Oh, they're still there. They're just on the dessert menu.
No, but I mean, like I had like
yeah, I know.
Picture like it was more buns.
I mean, I like how they would like go up there and get it for you. That's just me, but because like you see that at Cabanas or the Marceline Market now too, they just like take your plate and put it on your plate for you. I like that.
Oh no, they definitely didn't do that on the Fantasy.
Oh, they do that. Okay, really?
No. The treasure they take. Yeah, they ask you what you want. And
I was scooping my own crap on my plate.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a nice compare to talk about.
Yeah, we could talk about that.
I'd do like a Wish versus Fantasy.
Wish versus Fantasy. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. We're getting ready to answer listener questions and then talk cruising because it's colder than snot here.
Oh my god, it is
How
so
is snot
cold.
I mean, it's cold here. I'm not gonna lie, but
it's below zero tomorrow.
Ugh.
Yep. The wind chill tomorrow because we have like a cold weather warning or something. Not even for like the snow, like for the temperature. Like the wind chill is gonna be 20 below.
Ew.
Or probably close school for that. What's up? Len's here.
Man, I was looking at some photo and video prepping for my next vlog series, and I saw a video of a photo that I had of Len and Jet, and it was kind of awesome. Like, that's right, we made that awesome meetup at Beach Club.
Oh man, Beach Club.
Nice.
Beach Club. That was the best, man. I'm just like having lunch with the girls. I get this message from Len, like, "You're not at Beaches and Cream by now, by chance?"
And you're like,
I'm like, I am. He's like, Scotty, look over your right shoulder.
That's funny.
That was awesome.
That's too funny.
All right, we're gonna get started here. There may be a couple of beeps because we're gonna take questions from the Discord today. Part of the way through because I wonder if I can turn the beeps off. Let's see. Hang on. Where's the notifications?
What do you mean by beeps?
Because hang on.
I'm behind on a few episodes. I gotta catch up. I haven't even heard your
Disneyland. Like the way I have this the channel, the way I have my notifications is like anytime anybody posts, it goes.
Let's
see. What up, Alfred?
So I'll mute the channel for 3 hours. I don't know what that means, but maybe it means it won't beep.
Oh no!
I hope it doesn't mean I won't see it.
Hey, good. Brian just picked up Lucy. Right.
I have not been in the Discord yet today. I need to get on there.
You live in the Discord usually. What are you doing? Okay. Hopefully it doesn't beep. We'll see.
I was just trying to enjoy a day off. Hung out with my brother. I had to go see a lawyer because of that house stuff I'm still dealing with. So fun stuff.
That guy you killed.
Yeah. What?
Shh, don't tell people about that, bro. Man, lawyers, man. I know we got some lawyer friends, but like, man, it's expensive. And I didn't even anyway. It was just an estate issue, and it's like cost me thousands of dollars. It's insane. It's insane. Just because some paperwork was wrong like 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, oh my god.
That makes me. Okay, real quick. I'm just turning the TV to the news so I can see what the weather's update is. So while we're doing this, so hang on.
So you can see the Delta symbol upside down.
Oh my god! Stop!
Because we got this snowstorm coming in, and I just want to see because I think they're revising it down. Which I mean,
that's good.
I mean, I don't have snow days anymore, but for the girls, so I always have to tell them what to expect. I'm like their weatherman. So let's put on. Let's see. Channel 2 has the straight more.
Channel 2 that used to be like HBO.
Oh, that is not HBO for us.
Like our Fox affiliate.
Yeah, that's Fox.
They do like local news all the way through. Like they don't.
Brian and I would make fun of Dave Murray so hard. Like he gets way too excited about the weather.
Yeah, he did.
If you get my drift.
He's Judge Judy until 5, and then at 5 o'clock
he gets way too excited about the weather.
Guys, but I like a weatherman who's committed to his craft. You know what I'm saying? Like it's good stuff. Okay, here we go. This is 2643, and we're rolling. Here we go. Welcome to episode 2643 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents. over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you're having a great week and staying warm. If you're here in the Midwest, it's a cold one. But we're going to try to warm your soul with some Disney talk and talk a little Disney Cruise Line, some Walt Disney World, some Disneyland. We're taking questions from the live chat. Lots of folks joining us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and X. So thanks for joining us here on Monday as we record the shows for the week. You could do that again next week if you would like. Just drop in on those places late afternoon, usually around 5:30 Eastern. We all convene and talk Disney, so we'd love to see you there. But we also get our questions at mike@beourguestpodcast.com. You ever have a question, drop that in the email. And today, we're going to go to our Discord channel, our clubhouse. So we'll get some questions over there too. And by the way, big day here on Wednesday in Missouri. Big basketball game. Mizzou taking on Alabama out in Como. So let's go MIZ. Let's take out the Tide. You know, and speaking of that, joining me today, my buddy up in Michigan. Our teams right there next to each other in the top 20 ratings. Who would have thought after our team last year not being able to win a regular season game, but we're right there behind Sparty. What's up, Scotty G? Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, Mike. And when you think about Sparty and men's basketball, you got to think of Tom Izzo, right? Who just became the all-time winningest Big Ten coach, passing the great late Bobby Knight in that category. So it's pretty awesome for that.
Yes, I mean, just absolutely destroying Illinois in the second half. I think the last.
Have you seen the graphic for that? It was so funny.
It was negative 2 points. I mean,
because they took a goaltending off. So they actually lost 2 points in the last 7 minutes of the game. I just love that.
There's your sports update. And at halftime, they honored the Illini honored a player by hanging in the rafters his jersey upside down. I mean, come on now.
So you know it's going to be a good second half for MSU, baby.
Illinois.
But yeah, it is so cold here. As we're recording, my great wife Elizabeth is cooking up some chili for after the shows.
Nice.
So it is chill. This is a chilly week. It's a great week to have some chili. It's great for leftovers. I'm not a leftover guy, but I absolutely am with like soups and chilies. So that will be my lunch probably for the rest of the week too.
Good call. Yeah.
Crockpots across the Midwest are singing this week right here. Crockpots. I mean, they're earning their keep this week across the Midwest and the upper Great Lakes. It's just it's one of those weeks. And Rikki knows. Rikki's here from DisneyWorldAfterAll.com over at the Mouse for Less. Fresh off Disney Fantasy Cruise, we're going to talk about on Friday. She was right there, tailing right behind Scott on the Wish.
True story.
Talked about Scott on Monday, so we're going to talk about Rikki on Friday. Rikki, what's going on? Happy Wednesday.
I could literally see Scott's ship out the porthole window in my room as it was sailing away. That was how I saw him go. Because we had a really unique stateroom on the Fantasy where we had a porthole view, and it was literally of the front of the ship. So like I could see what the captain was seeing as he was sailing away, and I saw Scotty G sailing away. Bye bye. I waved, and
it's kind of crazy when people were in your ship. They would go to like the bridge view on the room, but it was actually your view.
Yeah, it was my view, and I'm like, I can just look out the window. It's
like
fine.
weird. They had a camera in your room, and you didn't even know it all that time.
It was our POV, Ricky's point of view.
Yeah, exactly. It totally was. Yeah, but it was a really, really unique view for sure, and a very, very cool room, especially for us shorties. I got the side of the bed that was, the slanty side, because the ship kind of slants there, so I got the slanty side of the bed.
That's super interesting. Never been.
I can't wait to talk about that on Friday.
Yeah,
our perspectives of seeing each other's ships in port.
Yeah.
You've piqued my interest. Can't wait. So stay tuned. That's a teaser for Friday. Don't go. We got to get through Wednesday.
Thursday. Then come back Friday and you can hear about it. Yeah.
We got sub-zero temperatures and snowstorms hitting the Midwest, but hey, hang in there. Friday, we'll get you warm with a podcast about the Disney Fantasy, which, I think it's like 1A and 1B with my favorite Disney Cruise Line ships with the Treasure right now, but I can't wait for the Magic. I'm excited for that in July because I've not been on the Magic. I just love them all. I love them all. I just now, just put me on anything, put me on a beach, put me at Walt Disney World. I don't care. Get me out of the Midwest. But today we are answering your list of questions. We're going to kick it off with our good friend Andrew, who's been with us for seriously almost the whole 17 years we've been doing this show. So glad to see him here tuned in on Facebook. 2 questions. When will the new Zootopia 3D show, will the new Zootopia 3D show reuse some of the effects from It's Tough to Be a Bug? And have you thought of having the new author of the unofficial guide, Becky? Is it Gandillion?
I think so. Yeah.
Apparently, she's from St. Louis. I didn't know she was from St. Louis, but I have been in contact with man, what's her name?
Lillian?
Lillian. Yeah, she always emails me.
Yeah.
Trying to work that out. I didn't know she was from St. Louis though. Holy cow.
I have if anybody wants to read about it, I have a review of the unofficial guide to Walt Disney World on the site on Disney World After All, as well as a review for the cruise line one up right now. So I'm still working. I have 2 more books that I have to get through. One for Disneyland and one for Universal. So those are coming for. But if anybody wants to read a review of those two, the first 2, they can go check it out on the site. So there's that. That was a plug.
Does Universal have anything opening soon?
I've heard a thing or 2. A whole new park, maybe. I don't know. Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
Soon, summer. I don't know.
Sometime. Yeah.
Might be epic.
Might be.
Okay, so Rikki, do you know anything about Zootopia reusing effects from? I mean, it's like Hopper possibly popping somewhere. I mean,
Hopper obviously won't pop in somewhere. It'll be interesting to see how they redo that entire theater. I obviously have no idea how they're gonna redo it, whether they're gonna completely gut it and start over, or if they're gonna like reconfigure things. So no idea. I mean, really, Disney's been very hush hush about kind of what they're doing with the Zootopia attraction that's replacing It's Tough to Be a Bug. So it will be interesting to see what happens. I know they just posted a video with Jennifer Goodwin, who is the voice of Judy Hopps, and she did the voice for obviously the attraction as well. And that's exciting to see because she was really excited to be back. So that's really great. But yeah, no real word on like what the basis of this attraction is going to be. It's really kind of hush hush. It seems like we have information about a lot of other things, but this one's really kind of gone under the radar for a lot of it. So
did you see this week they finally took down the Chester and Hester sign? Like it's gone.
Bye.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
When I was running marathon this year, when we ran through Animal Kingdom, that was the last day of operation of Dinoland.
Yeah.
Like some of the attractions there. It was not the greatest. I mean, some people like the land more than others. I could take it or leave it. I didn't like Primeval World back in the day. I mean, it was rough and it made me sick. It went back to a trip seriously back in like 2007. I mean, like it went back that far. I remember a morning that it was the trip we took Paige's best friend Molly, and this was when I was a rookie, right? I didn't know what I was doing. We were on the Disney dining plan, and we went to Chef Mickey's like first thing in the morning, like because we were going to get an ADR because I didn't know what was going on. So like we got an ADR super early in the morning, like at 7:30 or something. Went to Chef Mickey's, dude. I gorged myself. I just destroyed Chef Mickey's, and then we went over to Animal Kingdom. Probably got there, I don't know, probably like 9:30 or 10. Hot as anything. So, of course, it was the middle of summer.
Of course, yeah.
Probably, we got on Primeval World because it probably had a short line compared to everything else, like the safari and everything. It's kind of a secondary ride. Got on that thing after eating 17 pounds of breakfast food.
That was your mistake. Yeah,
exactly, dude. And it spun me around and dipped me and flipped me, and I almost puked. So I was like, forever I hated the thing. I'm like, dude, I do not need to be sent back into time with these dinosaurs, even though it's a cutesy little ride. And it was jerking me, and ever since I'm just like, oh, I hate that thing. I almost killed me that morning.
I liked it, but it always had a really long wait for what it was. So
it did.
Yeah, so I didn't ever ride. I rode it occasionally, but it wasn't one of those that like if it had a short line, maybe 10 minutes or so I'd get in. But even still, like that 10 minutes was a full 10 minutes. It was not hey, it's 10 minutes in quotes, it was like a full 10 minutes. So yeah.
Scott, how do you, Scott's a huge fan of Animal Kingdom, favorite park, I believe.
He is.
You're a huge fan of Animal Kingdom, but what do you feel about Dinoland going away for Tropical America? You excited?
I was a huge fan of Primeval World. Like,
yes,
we were the family. And I have photos of this to prove it that we always rope dropped that. Honestly.
Hey, that's awesome. I love it.
I love how people have different.
And we had our max for how many times in a row we could do it because they would not even. We could just stay on the ride.
Oh, that's nice. God. Yeah, that early in the morning, you probably could stay on the ride.
So we would do it like 2 to 3 times, and then that would be max for us.
That's awesome.
But yeah,
I
we
would have
loved
totally done that, by the way. I would have absolutely just stayed on.
Yeah, it was fun.
Mike would appreciate this. He would be the only one. But like back when I lived in St. Louis, we would go to Six Flags and there's the Ninja there. And I think I rode that sucker like 7 times in a row, like back to back to back.
I could do the Ninja over that.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster. It doesn't like do the spinny deal.
No, but it goes upside down a lot. So yeah.
So at Disneyland, well, DCA, like the Goofy Sky School is similar.
But yes, it is.
It's rough as anything though. Like it's painful for somebody that's small. Like I don't fit into the cars right.
That's true. You gotta be tiny, fun size like me, and then you're good.
Yeah, I'm not fun size at all. I'm grumpy size. Okay, Robin's got
just going back to Andrew though, real quick though. So Disney will always like recycle stuff from attractions. True. So like, and I'm a huge fan of paying a nod to a previous attraction. So when we go through that, like I'm gonna be looking for as many Bug Life tributes as I can, and I bet you. It might not be the full scale hopper that we're used to there, but there's going to be some type of hopper tribute somewhere in the queue or somewhere out there. So I hope to see that.
I wonder if there'll still be, because they have Flick coming out of the ceiling right now. I wonder if they'll use that piece where somebody comes out, like Judy comes out of the ceiling, or maybe Nick. Oh my gosh, I could see Nick coming out of this because he's a fox, so he's.
I mean, even at Guardians of the Galaxy, they have nods to Ellen's that I'm always looking for, and I love they talk about the Big Bang in that.
Yeah.
Even. So like, I know there's going to be some lines or something that reference. It's tough to be a bug, and I can't wait for it.
That's true.
What if they have one of those like coming? They have like in the queue or in the holding area there, they have like coming attractions posters right now.
Yeah.
And it's to be a bug. Maybe just one of those somewhere. Those were cute.
Cool.
Like great. Or sell them. Those are cool. Robin says, "Hey, BOGP crew, glad to hear Steve's improving each time Pam gives an update. Thank you, Mike, for the wonderful compliment from a while ago. Now I feel like I need to make a listener of the week. Now I feel like I need to make a listener of the week streak. No pressure, no pressure. I have a question about the dining plan, specifically about alcoholic drinks. Would the specialty cocktails be covered under the one alcoholic drink that is included in the table service option? Or is there a limit to the type of cocktails that are covered? I appreciate your time reading my message and the magic you bring each week, especially during times like this. Magically yours, Robin from Jackson Heights, Queens, New York."
I need to sign all my things with Magically Yours. That's fantastic. I like it.
Somebody I knew used to do that at the agency. One of our agents.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
I can't remember who it was, but somebody, it was always Magically Yours. But I like that's very sweet. And thank you for the kind words, Robin. So but I think we have bad news. I don't think specialty cocktails are covered by the dining plan. I think it's just kind of basic cocktails. Like the fancy ones, like the expensive ones, I do not think are like covered.
It might be. I mean, I think it just depends on the restaurant.
Yeah, I always ask, but if like
because I think like milkshakes like are,
Yeah, milkshakes are for sure.
So it could just depend on the restaurant. I mean, I don't think you're going to see any Remy Martin on there as a as an availability. Those $200 for like 1 ounce. But I would just ask the server. I mean, the server's probably going to run through that anyway. And when they ask it, if you're part of the dining plan, I know this might be more for preparing beforehand, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of the specialty ones do.
I wouldn't be either. I would think that anything probably listed in the booklet that they have, that they give you when you sit down at the restaurant would probably be included in the Disney dining plan. So, obviously if it's a $40 drink, then probably not. But, if it's in that, $10 to $15 range, I would say it's probably going to be included. So, yeah, I would
also say the nice hack for this is counter service. So if you do like a counter service lunch and you go to like Flame Tree Barbecue, you can get like a beer, like a Safari Amber with that too. So that's another thing too to think about if you're trying to maximize your value.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I don't drink very much. So when I'm thinking specialty, I'm thinking of like the top shelf, like liquor, like you're probably not going to get, something that's like $50.
No, definitely not.
I don't ever buy liquor. So I don't know. Like I just get like a treat or something.
But like an espresso martini or, any of the really like high end kind of drinks, I'm sure those would be included in that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just ask, like if I want something, I'd say, hey, can I get
I would ask. Yep. And they're probably going to run that over with you when they sit you down and go over the menu.
I wonder if there's like a dollar amount for.
So I think that's what it is. I think it's like a range, and I'm thinking like a $12 to $15.
That's what I would guess.
My head is going. So
yeah,
probably is. Okay, let's go to the Discord. By the way, I love the Discord. You guys are the bomb. You can join us over there. We talk all the time at brspodcast.com/clubhouse. It's just a bunch of friends hanging out talking Disney all the time. I said, need some questions. Bam, we had a bunch this afternoon. people keep posting, so now I am losing my place. But we have a question about Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique because that's where we're starting. Here we go. Catherine has a question. We have a Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique reservation for 8:20 a.m. We plan to take a minivan from Pop Century. What time should we get this for to give enough time for security, etc.? In general, are minivans something we should schedule in advance or just go on the app when we want one? So what would you do?
That's a tricky one because you're trying to go to Magic Kingdom, so you still have to go to the TTC for that. So then you got to add in extra time, right? Or do they drop? Oh, they might drop you off at the bus stop, right?
Drop you off at the bus stop.
That's the hack right there with the minivan.
That's the hack right there for sure.
I'm thinking of a regular Lyft or Uber.
Right. Those do have to take you to that. Yeah.
Like at stall 1. That is a hack. Yeah.
Yeah,
that is a good hack.
That's a good hack.
Thank you for correct. I mean, as I was saying and reading the body language, it hit me. I've seen those spots for the buses. Yeah. There's a minivan spot.
Yeah.
Okay, well that saves you a lot of time. Honestly, then.
Yeah.
So if you're 8:20, like
8:20.
I mean, if you're coming from Pop Century, like 20 minutes. I'm just going like backwards in time.
Super early with everything. I would say it's 25 minutes to get from Pop Century.
Yeah.
I would say like a 7:30 pickup time.
That's what I
was thinking too. Yeah.
Now, if you pre-schedule,
you can pre-schedule those.
You can I pre-schedule Lyfts and Ubers all the time.
Well, yeah, but minivans, I don't know if you can pre-schedule those. I know they're run through Lyft, but I still don't know if. I mean, hopefully.
I would look the day before and see if you can, because that could save you some headache, because that could be a very popular time of day where people are trying to get the character breakfast at other resorts and things like that. So I would look the day before, Catherine, on that, but I think you're fine morning of most cases and do a 7. I said 7:30. Now I'm thinking like 7:25, just to give you a few extra minutes. Give you a few, because you want to get some castle photos on your way up, and things like that. So
7:25, 7:30. Yeah,
maybe 7:20. Just make it a full hour.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, because
that's exciting, like to get the photos on Main Street as you're walking up, and then there'll be some early entry guests coming up too, but it won't be as many,
Right.
Really 15.
And they still will have to go through security. 7:15.
Yeah. How about 8:45 the night before?
You guys are killing me.
Keep going. No, that's me the night before a Run Disney race. I'm like, set my alarm. 2:45, the 2:40, 2:35, and by the time.
Whereas I'm the opposite direction.
By the time I'm just not going to bed now because I'm just gonna stay up. Adam's got a question. When do bounce back offers become available? Is it not until you check in? Correct. Actually, they ask when you check out. They want to know your checkout date to book a bounce back. They're like, when did the guest check out for that reservation? So it's at your checkout is when we call in for a bounce back, they want to know when the guest checked out of the previous reservation. And let's see. This is follow up from Catherine. Do you have to bounce back this calendar year? Yes, it's select dates for this calendar year. Obviously, bounce backs aren't available for 26 because there are not dates.
So is there an advantage to that? I mean, I'm mostly I look for the AP discounts or room onlys and things. Can you find something good with the bounce back sometimes? Or
so Disney uses bounce backs to fill slots here and there that aren't filling, right? They're just kind of like they're discounts out there.
Slow times.
Yeah, exactly. For times where they want to fill rooms at select resorts. So like if they need to fill some rooms at Riverside during August, they'll throw a bounce back in that week, or this slow week, there. If you have an AP, you're probably going to get a better offer. But if there's nothing out there available at that time, it's something to go for until you can probably get a general public offer later. Or
that makes sense.
The offers,
because you'd be waiting for that AP offer to come and may never even come.
Right. Exactly.
It's kind of it's like a first layer plan, and sometimes really good offers. You never know. Let's see. Again, another handle here. Elavies says currently Magic Kingdom only has after hours events scheduled until May, while Epcot and Hollywood Studios have them until September. Do you think they'll open up any events in Magic Kingdom during the summer, or just keep regular park hours until Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party starts up in August? What do we think? Is Magic Kingdom getting any in the summer?
I don't think so. Usually because the hours are for the regular park guests are usually later in the summer. So I would guess that they probably won't. Usually the park will be open till like 11 o'clock or so at night. So they don't really have time to have the extra after hour events because of that. So yeah, I would expect that would be the last date, and then they won't start Mickey's Not So Scary until August, which of course that will be August for sure, but
Or July.
don't have dates yet. They won't do Mickey's Very Not So Scary in July. Come on.
Yeah. 15 years ago, they say they would never have Mickey's Not So Scary in August.
It's true. Yeah.
I mean, so we always talk about like Christmas in July.
Yeah.
I think it'd just be hilarious if 1 week they just rolled out the Christmas Once Upon a Christmas Time parade. Just like for a week. Wouldn't that be hilarious?
Cool. That would be great.
You are so just manifesting this to happen.
You are. Let's make it happen.
My friends at work tell me I'm good at this, so let's see if
there we
go.
The podcast is really good at stuff like this.
It's really good at this. Yes.
So that's going to be their thing. That's how they're going to announce the dates for this year. Like it's going to be 4th of July week. They're going to have some random like Once Upon a Christmas Time at Christmas parade.
It's true. They are. Well, backing up though, another reason why I doubt that they'll have the after hours events is because the nighttime parade will be debuting in the summer at Walt Disney World, or at the Magic Kingdom, yeah. I guess I should say. So I really suspect that they will not be doing the after hours events. And
excited for that.
Probably will see the parade debut not long after those after hours events. Again, this is me guessing and speculating based off of what I've known Disney do in the past. So I have no insider information. I'm just really taking a guess at it. But I would, if you're looking to see the new parade, I would say, what date is the last date for after hours, Mike? You already did. Oh wait, it's not an email. So
it's probably gonna be like a Memorial Day weekend kind of a thing.
Probably a Memorial Day. Yeah. So anyway.
Well, Tammy has a question here in the chat. She's joins us a lot here. We appreciate that. She's over on Facebook. Great picture there with Tigger. Love that. Mike, I'm looking to go home this April for 2 to 3 nights. She's going home. That's cool. Oh, wait, you mean Walt Disney World, probably.
Yeah.
I think that's what home is. Yeah.
Capital H. Okay, I get it. I love it. I love our folks. I'm flexible with the dates, and I'd like to know, how can I find out the cheapest nights to stay at any resort in that month? That'll most likely determine when I go. Thank you.
It's $1 million question.
Yeah, it is.
And there's not, so you're going to be looking, obviously stay away from the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, when April. You're going to want to
stay away from Easter's in April this year, right? Early April.
It is. It's in April.
And I'm telling you, the cheerleaders are down there in April, the end of April to the beginning of May.
Yeah.
So, are they just always do the cheerleaders just live there? Because they were there when
they were there this weekend. Yeah.
Deal. Yes. Okay. So February is high school and college cheer. Now, right now is all-star cheer season. So they're all working up to Summit and Worlds, which the Summit and World National Championships are going to be down there in late April and May. That takes 2 weeks. And so you're not going to want to be there at the end of April, or it doesn't, like, it won't affect you being in the parks, but if you're looking for a value or a moderate resort, that's where the cheerleaders are going to be. So the end of April, you're going to have a hard time finding a value resort.
Middle of April.
There's also Springtime Surprise Race Weekend in April. So that takes up a lot of rooms and stuff too. That's April 4th through 6th, I think.
So I'd look mid-April, midweek.
Yeah, mid-April.
Wait, isn't Easter around there too?
Yeah, Easter. Hold on. Let me.
We need to help around here.
Easter is April 20th, so like the weekend before that, so the 13th.
Yeah, Easter's well, that will be probably spring break though. I don't know that there's any good day in April, to be perfectly honest, because spring break is usually the week before Easter for a lot of kids if they haven't already had one, or some sort of break is the week before.
Yeah,
Easter.
I mean ours is like March 21st.
Yeah,
but so it depends. I mean it varies. So either way, go through that Tuesday through Thursday if you can swing it. The midweek is the way to go.
Totally. All right, let's see here. Billy's got a question, and I love his handle over on the Discord server. It's he who waits in long lines.
Nice.
And it's all like jammed together. I finally figured it out. He says, podcast cruise will be my first cruise. What should I expect when I get to the port? For example, is it indoors or out? We have transportation to the port, but assuming they drop us off at the nominal time, about how long should we expect to be waiting to board since we don't have a cruising level like silver, platinum, or pearl? And will we be boarding last? Any other tips for first timers to make getting on board easier? Thanks in advance for all your suggestions. Billy, you're gonna have a blast on the podcast cruise. Scott and I'll be there getting you. We'll hand you the first soft serve cone if you want. Just tell us, we'll be ready. Deck 9. Not see, that's going to screw us up because we're used to being on deck
11.
We're going to be on deck 9 this time because the Magic has different decks. That's going to totally screw us up for the first day. We'll be fine. We'll make it. It's going to be fun. Good news, you're going to get a port arrival time. They're going to tell you what, and if you have transfers, it's even better. They're just going to tell you where to meet the transfers. They're going to tell you what to do with your luggage. You're going to take your luggage to where you meet the Disney Cruise Line representative. Boom. They're going to take your bags, throw them on the bus. You don't have to think about a thing after that. They're going to drive you over to Port Canaveral in this nice motor coach, like back in the Magical Express days. You're going to watch a fun video it gets you hyped for the cruise on the way over for like 40 minutes. You're going to crest the little hill and you're going to see the ship and everybody on the bus is going to go crazy. I promise you, because it is cool. It's a thing.
It's very cool.
And then they're going to drop you off at the port. They get you there to your correct port arrival time. Basically, you're going to right into the port. It's awesome. It's beautiful. And you're not going to have to wait because they get you there by right at port arrival time. You might have to wait a few minutes in there. You'll hear boo, 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 boo. They'll play some chimes. You'll get on the ship. You'll walk through the ears and you'll be going. It's not. And it's
hopefully you walk through the ears.
Well, we will probably. I think. I think we'll be in the main port.
I walk through the ears.
I know. Well, I think we'll be in the main port. Feel better. So you're going to be fine to board with Disney Cruise Line transfers. You're hooked up because they're going to put you off at the right place. They're going to give you the right time. You don't have to worry about it. It's inside. It's air conditioned. It's awesome. There'll be a model of the ship. Mickey Mouse will be there. You take pictures with the character, Minnie Mouse, Mickey Mouse. There's character pictures there in the terminal. So yeah, you're set. We're gonna have a blast. So anything else to add? Would miss anything here?
You basically covered it all. I mean, with the transfers do make it so much easier for you. It relieves a lot of stress, and it's your first time, so you wouldn't get the best port arrival time anyway. So that's why I think the transfers work out really good, because sometimes those run a little bit later after if you were like a Pearl, like it would be after your port arrival time a lot of times anyway. So like that's gonna be perfect. Then it's 5 nights of just so much fun and relaxation.
As I'm sitting here watching the news of all this snow coming our way. Oh, I can't wait to be on the Magic. It's gonna be so awesome. Yes. So yes, you're gonna have a good time. Okay, next question is from Ian, who I believe is over. He's overseas. Is he he's in our Discord? He's over in the UK, correct?
UK, yeah,
UK. And I love he's just brief. Best chicken on property.
Oh,
I love this question. So tough one though. I mean,
dude, you could do a full podcast about.
Yeah, I know, right?
A full podcast. The buttermilk chicken at Olivia is one of my favorite dishes, just because of the whole thing, like the atmosphere, like that it's served on some potatoes. You get a biscuit with it, green beans. I do like that, but oh man, I think other good chicken. I'm trying to think.
Oh, 50s. It's
but the portions have gone down. So
yeah, I'm a no on the 50s one.
It used to be big and now it's so small. Like they've cut the portion size in half over there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you do have Art Smith too. I mean, Homecoming, but I don't think Scott likes the Homecoming fried chicken either.
It's not my favorite. I prefer Olivia's, honestly, but I will say it is good though. It is good.
It is good. But I mean, the last time I went, I got like huge pieces of chicken and I had to take them home with me. Like I couldn't eat it all. So yeah, they do really good fried chicken there.
I've had good chicken, good chicken feathers at Splitsville. Like
you mean fingers?
Like chicken. Well, I mean, we called them feathers back in the day at like Kinrod's. Remember Kinrod's?
Oh yeah, I do. Unfortunately. Did not like that restaurant. The chicken guy. If you're looking for chicken fingers, they have really good chicken fingers there.
I had them on
but they don't have as many dipping sauces as they used to have, but they're still really good. So
if you want to not do like your traditional chicken, like go to Sanaa, because that chicken.
Oh god!
Yes.
Butter chicken at Sanaa.
Yeah, the butter
is my
chicken
favorite thing in the entire world. I love it.
Well, Emily was craving it, and we had to go there after our disembarkation because she was craving that chicken.
Good for her. Her.
And I went to Old Key West. I could have had buttermilk chicken, but no, I went to Sanaa instead, and you can't lose in either of those scenarios.
No, you cannot. Good choice.
What about a theme park? I know it's a great question. I'm trying to think like in a theme park. So we've talked Disney Springs. We've talked.
There's a chicken sandwich at Connections Eatery, isn't there?
Oh yeah, there is.
It's like the Chick-fil-A sandwich.
Yeah, I think it's really good there. Actually, that's a good chicken sandwich.
Chick-fil-A sandwich. Yeah, it reminds me of the Chick-fil-A original. Yeah, it's a good sandwich. I'm trying to think. Is there trying to think who would have like the best. Because I mean, my God, my kids have eaten they're weight in chicken.
So it's really open. Well, what was that restaurant? It's like, it's in Tomorrowland, but like it's by like where they do the dessert parties. Like what is that restaurant?
Thing's never open anymore. The Tomorrowland Terrace.
But they used to. Me and Paige. I remember me and Paige once did like a buffalo tenders, and it was so good.
Yeah, and they used to have like little mini, like there's like a mini dessert there that I got there all the time.
So it was like cookie.
Minnie Mouse, cookie.
Yeah, oh my God, memories.
Really good. But you can get the chicken waffle sandwich, right? Still over there.
That's good chicken. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can get the chicken and waffle sandwich at Sleepy Hollow. Yeah. Well, it's not a sandwich; it's just chicken and
a waffle. Yeah, but that's good. That's a good chicken.
Yeah.
And then I got that good chicken parm sandwich back.
And then at Animal Kingdom, if you like barbecue chicken, like I think Flame Tree is a good chicken option. Satuli Canteen has like chicken protein in their bowls. Like
yes,
I feel like we're talking about shrimp now. I got
the one
I got
place
Flame Tree chicken. I like the Satuli Canteen chicken.
For the shrimp
chicken show. the one place that I miss that I again since COVID is Sunshine Seasons. They used to have really good chicken, like a rotisserie chicken, and it again the portions are very small for that one now, and half the time it's not even open anymore, which makes me very sad. So
Connections Eatery did not do Sunshine Season.
No, I agree.
No.
And I lost my whoopie pie, my favorite.
No.
But you know what though? What happened was again, it's like it's the same thing though, right? Connections killed Sunshine Seasons because Sunshine Seasons was awesome until Connections came. And I mean, Connections is great. Don't get me wrong, I love it. It's got great options. But the whoopie pie was like the Sunshine Seasons thing. Get there all the time. Now the whoopie pie is like kind of it's really featured all over the place. Yeah. Like you can usually get one, but you got to kind of hunt for it,
especially around seasonal times like Christmas.
Yeah, they use it for a specialty thing. Anyway, all right.
Some chicken.
That was lots of chicken. All right, let's see. Maria's got a question. Showing some friends around Walt Disney World for their first ever visit, April 23rd to the 26th. We're two adult couples. We drink and our friends do not. We eat meat and our friends do not. We are thrill ride people and they are not.
Leave
them at home. I'm just joking.
No, just kidding. What sit-down dining will offer the best options for all of us? What lounges have the best selection of non-alcohol and mocktails in addition to the cocktails?
So, I think oh my God, why am I forgetting the name? I want to say Red Rose Tavern, and I know that's not right. Like the Grand Floridian Lounge.
Enchanted Rose.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I knew there was a rose.
Yes, there's
rose. My mind went to like Disneyland for some reason.
When I said that, I'm picturing the Super Bowl commercial with Seal, because the Kiss from the Rose, like with Batman, he was like the Seal. Anyway, I don't know why that popped into my head.
Anyway, that I think of that as a great place with good mocktails. I know Emily's has some great ones there too, and an outstanding alcohol selection, like their seasonal old fashioned. So good. So I like that as a good spot where both parties can find something that they really enjoy.
So I've never really thought about mocktails, but I mean, will most like lounges just make
they do, yeah.
But some more than others will have like a menu of certain ones that aren't on your traditional, because I call it like the generic bar menu. Right. We'll have mocktails, but at a lounge, and this is not knocking any other locations, but you have more like experience. I would say more of a range of making drink bartenders.
So
they can kind of come up with something even too that will like kind of go for your liking. So
I would agree with that.
I like that.
Yeah, I think the lounges are the place to go for the mocktails for sure. As far as like restaurants, Sanaa was actually one of the places that I thought of because they have really great kind of vegetarian options, as well as, I mean, like we mentioned before, the butter chicken is just the best thing. But I mean, you can get the naan bread and the dipping sauces, which is one of my favorite things too. So that was the first thing that actually did pop in my head for like, that situation where you've got people that eat meat and people who don't eat meat.
I think one of us needs to become a vegetarian just so we can start answering.
I'm definitely not becoming a vegetarian.
You see me, I eat terrible.
Veronica needs to be in the chat when we have these questions. Help us out a little bit.
I mean, almost all the restaurants have something that's,
Yes.
vegetarian. So they're not going to be out anything. But if they don't, I mean, and they would, but if there's something that they see something on the menu and they're like, I'd like to have that, but have it be a vegetarian option, just have the chef would be probably more than happy to come out and speak with you. And help them, create something that they could eat as well. So that would be a big thing. I wouldn't fret too much about where we can go, what's good. Anywhere that can make anything for the most part, And
I don't know why my mind went to Ale and Compass too. I don't know why. I'm just thinking that, but I have no particular reason why. Maybe I saw someone order some great vegetarian dish there once. I don't know, but
I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, you can look at the menus ahead of time too, right? And
Yeah.
Like a plus,
the Mouse for Less has all the menus online too, or obviously you can look at Disney too. But we've got them on the Mouse for Less, so you can check those out.
So Jason over in our clubhouse, this is all coming from the current BOGP discussion channel, and that one goes pretty busy. He says his best mocktail on property is from it's new. Is it the Wally Lulu?
Why Lulu?
Wally Lulu.
Why Lulu?
I gotta say it a few times, get used to it. But the that place. He says it's the zero proof pina colada, which is Liar's Cane, non-alcoholic spirit, coconut cream, Dole pineapple juice, and lime.
Sounds so good.
Okay, there you go.
There's so many good mocktails you can get at Walt Disney World. I mean, it's so good.
Yeah.
So
the mocktail game has been increased a lot of places. So Walt Disney World has definitely jumped on that train.
Okay. All right. Oh, because I'm trying to go through it, man, because these things just keep popping up. I love our clubhouse, but man, this thing moves fast some days. We have another question from Grind Crew. Says, go-to dishes to order at Palo Brunch on the Disney Wish, but they're pretty much all the same.
Yeah.
Fleet wide.
For
mine, I got a few. Let me just go with mine real quick. You got to get the sticky buns. Because the sticky buns are
but that's on the dessert menu now. Not.
I don't care what it's.
I want them to be aware that that's where the sticky buns are, because you won't see them on the main menu.
You can get them on the brunch though. I mean,
no. You can get them on the brunch.
Not
what
as
I'm
an
saying
entree,
is
but as
not as an entree. It doesn't show up on the main menu.
Bring them to me.
You have to ask for them. Is what I'm saying, because they're on the dessert menu.
Yeah, or I came here for sticky buns. That's what
there you go.
And I always get the chicken parm. Chicken parm is awesome. Mm-hmm. And I always get the eggs Benedict. Mm-hmm. Oh, holy smokes. Okay, so I don't want to take them all, but those are my three. I gave three. Sticky buns, chicken parm, and eggs Benedict. Okay, Scotty, what do you get? What do you suggest for that?
I mean, I don't want to. I mean, Rikki, I don't know. Did you go to brunch recently? So you might have some items on your. I'll just repeat Mike's. The chicken parm is always my go-to, and you always have to get a Palo pizza for the table, or even for yourself. I like the goat cheese. I think there's like a goat cheese sun-dried tomato pizza. I know one time, Mike, you were with me with this one. I think we were at the Foresters too. We got a secret pizza that was like, or the illegal pizza.
It was grape or something, right? It was grape.
But it was like one that they used to serve on the Magic way back in the day. It was a fan favorite. Then they got rid of it, but their chef still makes it sometimes. But so he called it the illegal pizza. But all their pizzas are so good. So you can't go wrong with a nice pie for brunch.
Agreed. Rikki, what do you get?
I mean, is this too much of a giveaway for my, for Friday?
Yeah, because we will talk. There's tons to talk about for 5 days.
All right. So, I mean, you've got to get the appetizer of the meats and cheeses. So you've got to do that. They have the option of a seafood one or the meat and cheese one.
I got both last time. Yep.
Well, that's true. You can do both. I just get the meat and cheese. I got an omelet, a cheese omelet, which was phenomenal. Oh my gosh, so good. The Mickey waffle was probably one of the best Mickey waffles I've ever had.
That's what that's what your wife always gets, right, Mike? Doesn't she always get the waffle?
And Dennis just put a picture of one in the clubhouse yesterday. And oh my God, it looks so good.
It's so good. It had a strawberry whipped cream with it. Oh my gosh. Okay.
What he put,
Brian got the sausage pizza, which was flatbread, I guess I should say, which was really good. The tomato soup is to die for. It's really creamy, it was really sweet, which so often tomato soup is acidic, and this one had a really sweet flavor to it. Again, one of the best tomato soups I've ever had in my entire life. And then I got the butternut squash. I think it was butternut squash ravioli, which was so good. And then of course we got the chicken parmesan as well. And then we got a chocolate cake. So that's what we ended up getting, or that's what I ended up getting. I left there so full. I can't even tell you. Like, I was rolling out of there. Just I couldn't. I don't know how I moved.
Believe it. I believe it.
Yeah.
There's nothing like Apollo nap.
No, I didn't take a nap. I just was so full. So yeah.
We did
but the best item on the menu is, unfortunately, is not at brunch. It is at dinner. It's the souffle, the chocolate souffle.
Yes.
And which sadly they do not offer at brunch. It's another way to get you to book another meal.
Back again. Yes.
Oh man. Yeah. So I'm telling you, come over to the clubhouse, because in the cruise line channel, I posted a video of them busting the little souffle and drop it in the hot chocolate. Oh man. I was like, why did I post it? I was on the treadmill when I posted it too. I was walking. It's like, why am I doing this to myself? It's so good. And then I posted at the brunch at the end. He asked what we wanted for dessert, and we were joking around. We couldn't decide. We got all 9, and we destroyed, between the two of us, we ate almost all 9 desserts after all that breakfast.
That's a lot.
I mean, I'd run like 13 miles that morning. So I was like, I'm going for it. Who cares? I'm just tearing it up. Whatever. I'll run another 13 tomorrow. That's why you run, dude. It was crazy. All right. Last question of the day. It's coming from Paul over on Facebook. Have you guys ever visited Jelly Rolls? It'd be funny if Jelly Roll performed there for the last night at Jelly Rolls. I like Jelly Roll. He's one of my favorite singers. With it closing and this being the first ever solo trip, I'm going to try to go there over springtime run weekend. I could see Jelly Roll doing that. Anyway, I have been there. Have you guys been there?
No. I have not. No.
You've not been there. I've been there. It's wild. It's fun. It's expensive though. There's a cover charge, and the drinks are expensive. But I mean, it's your average dueling piano bar where, you know, you put your little request in, you give a tip to the guy playing the piano. There's a couple guys playing pianos. There was 2 guys. It could be, I guess, ladies playing pianos too. The night I was there was guys. And it's just people sing along. I mean, it's just, you know, people play like The Piano Man by Billy Joel, and everybody sings a song, or, you know, it's just, you know, the songs like sing along songs, and it's people drinking, and it's a good time. But the night I went, it was cast member night, because the friends I was with, a couple of them were cast members, so they got in cheaper, and it was a wild and raucous night in there. It was fun. That's kind of what it is. I mean, I think it's kind of run its course. You know, I don't know, maybe
not going away. I mean, they are opening up another location in Orlando. They're just not going to be at Disney World anymore. So, I mean, they're still going to be in existence. So if you do want to go to a dueling piano bar that is Jelly Rolls in the future, you still will be able to do so. You'll just have to go off property in order to do that.
Yeah. So what's safe at the boardwalk anymore?
Like, I don't know.
It's getting like an identity change, like over the last several years, from like the Boardwalk Bakery name change, the Ample Hills ice cream going away, ESPN going away. Like, is Flying Fish safe? That's what we need to know.
Oh, I would say no. I mean, I wouldn't say it's safe.
It just seems like it's going through a crazy identity change.
I mean, I'm honestly surprised that the Atlantic Dance Hall is still there, but I'm sure that it gets a lot of use as corporate, and like wedding receptions and things like that. But I am so surprised that place is still open. So yeah.
You know, Jelly Rolls, I just think a lot, because I mean, we've had like those dueling piano bars. Like we had one in the shopping center right down from me right here at Mid Rivers Mall. Rikki, that was right there across from, you know,
I think I went to that one actually.
Now it's a boxing gym or something. I mean, that was a piano's place back in the day. It was more popular like in the 2000s.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But what I don't want to see is it sitting empty, right? Like use the venue. That's prime.
Well, I mean, right now,
entertainment. You know, make it something entertainment.
The space that was the brewery next door, I mean, that's just sitting empty.
Exactly. So. I hate empty because like we need stuff to do. Like I'm still bitter about Pleasure Island. Like that was such a cool like thing to do at night. I mean, Disney Springs is fun and all. It's great. I love Disney Springs, but Pleasure Island was also a lot of entertainment. You had like 8 tracks. You had, you know, the Comedy Club. You had Adventures Club. You know, it was unique. It was so fun. Like, bring this kind of stuff back. Don't take away without, you know,
consulting you first.
Yeah, consulting Mike Robin.
You know, like make a sports bar. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Make a diner or 24-hour diner. I mean, we've
asked for the 24-hour diner for years.
Seriously, you know, like it just seems like I hate that. Like, it seems like we're subtracting a lot. You know, without just keeping. Now we're not even adding all the time. Like this. You know, keep it at least equal. You know, don't keep when Jelly Rolls goes away. Let's pop something back into that hole.
Or maybe they're gonna take, because Jelly Rolls was next to the brewery, right? So maybe they're gonna take that whole space and do one big thing instead of two
That's
little.
a big spot then.
Doesn't matter. I mean, whatever they put in there could be a very large, I assume it will be a restaurant when whatever it is goes back in there. So that's just a guess, but who knows?
Now Jelly Rolls is going to like downtown Orlando. It's not going on.
Yeah, Jelly Rolls is not going to Disney Springs, and the Jelly Rolls has already said that they're not going to Disney Springs. It's been confirmed that they're not going to Disney Springs, that they're going to somewhere in Orlando. So I would guess somewhere on iDrive probably. Yep. If I had to, or maybe downtown Orlando, but those are the two spots.
I thought I read it's going downtown. That's what. I thought I read it's going downtown.
Probably downtown makes more sense, but I could see the iDrive area, like where the Orlando Eye is and stuff like that too. So either one, yeah.
All right, that's gonna do it for today's show. Lots of so we talked chicken, we talked dueling pianos, we talked cruising, and we talked Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. I mean, how about that for variety? It's good stuff. Thank you. You guys did well. If you have a question, drop it to Mike at brguestpodcast.com. We'll get it ready for next Wednesday's podcast. And by the way, MIZ, let's beat Bama tonight. All right, don't forget our show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney vacation, whether it's to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, even Adventures by Disney to see the world. We are standing by. No additional cost to you. Great service each and every time. Check out all the details today over at the Magic for Less. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so much to our Patreon supporters. You guys make these shows possible. We could not do this without you. You can support us as well, just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this week. We'd love to have you. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. You give us a follow on the social media. I'm at beourguestmike. Scott's at Epscott, EPSCOT. Rikki's at Rikki Nibs, RIKKINIBS. Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. And you can check out Scott at Must See Adventures over on YouTube. Rikki's at DisneyWorldAfterAll.com. Check her out there. Of course, I'm at beourguestpodcast.com. And let's see, this Sunday night, no live show because Mallory has state cheerleading championships down in Springfield, Missouri. And it's impossible to get back in time for the live show. They perform at 3:35 and it's 4 hours away. So do the math. Can't happen. So we'll have one a week from Sunday. I promise you that. So sorry about that. But go Vikings. Let's bring home a state title. See what we can do. All right. So we'll be back again on Friday. We're going to be talking all about Rikki's cruise. We're going to book in the week. Scott's cruise on Monday, Rikki's cruise on Friday. The Wish, the Fantasy, 2 different classes of ships. We'll talk about the differences, a 5-nighter and a 3-nighter. All kinds of yin and yang. I can't wait. As cold as it is, I just wish I was on a cruise ship. I don't care.
I just want to be sitting in a lounge chair.
Or real with a soft serve in my hand. I
got sunburnt, not gonna lie. So
yeah. I can't feel my toes and I'm in my house. It's so cold here. So stop. Okay,
Mike, turn your heat up.
I'm cheap. Well, you know what? I'm down here because when I'm podcasting, I'm busy and the girls mess with the thermostat upstairs and I'm at their mercy. And that's what happens. So anyway, we're going to get out of here. We'll see you on Friday. So for Scott and Rikki, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Wednesday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay warm. And we'll see you real soon. All right, save that one. I just saw a picture on the frame when we were recording. It was right after Scott and I had been really tore up after one of the tastings, and we were like up there by the chicken window up on deck, but they wouldn't let us go to dinner. Nice. That was a good picture. My sunglasses are down like on my nose. That was the night you got.
Oh yes,
that was the night you got kicked out of dinner for talking about Friends, I think.
No, that was on the Fantasy. I think that was after that tequila tasting we did.
Yeah, that was the one where
I think Steve and Jay were with us.
I didn't go to dinner, and you went to dinner.
That was at the other one.
We were sitting like up by Flo's V8 Cafe.
That was on the Fantasy. The other time where it was just you and me, like both of us. I tried to go to dinner, but I was kicked out.
Yeah, I didn't even go.
That was the night where I think my stateroom host gave me a massage or something. Yeah. Because like the next day talking to him, he was like, it was weird.
Yep.
And I did not ever remember he was in my room and my bed was made and I was in my underwear, starfish.
No.
When Liz came in. So he saw me. And apparently I was talking to him. There's a picture of me somewhere on the dream. I'm
sure there is.
Yeah. Oh, I got fleet-wide.
Oh, no.
Last time I was on the dream, they're like, "Oh, it's that man."
Don't let him in.
There's Scotty G.
Shorty. That was when Shorty tried killing us.
Sure, yeah, I remember that. He's like, "Yeah, come on, we got peanuts." Turn this banner off. Okay, there we go.
I love cruising.
Oh my gosh, I do too. All right, here we go. 41, 4, 44. Okay, here we go. 2645. Welcome to episode 2645 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Yes, we made it to another weekend. Unfortunately, this weekend is only 2 days long for everybody here in the United States. I know we've been getting used to those 3-day weekends, Super Bowl weekends, all the good stuff, but you know what? We just got to get back to reality. It's going to be 2 days, but hey, it's okay. We're fine. You know, spring break's around the corner for all of our teachers that are in that grind right now. The podcast cruise is coming up, you know, in a few months for all of us that are going to be selling the Magic here soon. Not that we're all dreaming about cruising, because that's what we're talking about today. And we have a lot of folks getting ready to run down at Princess this weekend, and we're so proud of you. Everybody arriving today. A lot of folks arrived yesterday, getting ready to run all those magical miles. We'll be following you know, from a distance here back home, and everybody getting ready to run. Have some fun, enjoy, and post all the pictures so we can see all your accomplishments. We're proud of you already. But today we're going to be talking cruising, and we got the 3 big cruise fans here today. So joining me from up in the mitten, Scotty G from Must See Adventures. What's up, Scott?
Happy Princess 5K Day. This is my favorite Run Disney weekend of them all. And I just wish everyone has a great race. I hope the weather works out for you. We're recording a little early. Looks like there could be a couple dicey days, but just enjoy the memories, enjoy the miles, and just make it an awesome Run Disney weekend.
Yes. Princess. We always say Princess typically has the best weather. Look at a little sketch as we're recording, but you know, a lot of time to change. And you know what? The race weekends are what you make them. You know what? The weather can affect it or not. So even if you got a little bit of drizzle, a little bit, you know, just get out there and just, you know, splash through the puddles if you have to, and make the memories, get the photos, get the medals, and just have a blast with everybody that's down there. That's what I say.
Absolutely.
Scott, so you've done Princess. I mean, it's do you have a memory from Princess? I know you've run with Emily and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think Emily's first half was Princess. Yeah,
Nice.
It was actually. So, and it was 2023. It was after those awful events that happened in my hometown at Michigan State. So a lot of emotions were happening leading up to that race. And then me and Emily did that together. I remember I dressed up as like a Sparty guy. I wore a foam finger the whole race. I remember that. And it was just super cool just crossing that finish line with her as she finished her first half, her first like challenge. She did the whole like, you know, 19.3. It was just that will always be my all-time favorite Princess memory for sure.
Yeah, I have that picture. Like that's one of your icons for something on like a computer of mine or something. When you pop up, like that's you, like because you're doing the like big
with my foam finger on and everything. Party up, man. That was a rough time, and we're still like recovering from that, man. It's like the 2-year anniversary of that just happened actually. So, but yeah, I mean that the Princess Weekend is just my favorite. I don't know why. I just love the theme. I love the weather is a little bit better in my opinion. I like getting away to Walt Disney World in February more than January. It's just awesome weekend.
It is. All right. Also joining us, we have Rikki from a DisneyWorldAfterAll.com and the Mouse for Less. And Rikki, before we dive into, because you're going to be the star of today's show, talking about your fantasy cruise last weekend, but we need to let everybody know about our live show coming from Give Kids the World that is going to be the weekend of March 7th and 8th.
Yes.
So what is the update on that? Because we need everybody to make sure that they're joining us on that Saturday from 10 to 4. They need to block out those 6 hours to call in and join us live on all the places.
Absolutely.
To be live. That's good.
Yeah.
What's going on with that? What's the update?
It's going to be such a great experience, such a great show. For those who don't know, we are raising money for Give Kids the World. So we are going to be live from the village. It is near and dear to my heart this weekend. Always is. I love being able to help raise money for, you know, critically ill children and the village overall. And it's such an amazing weekend. For those who would like to donate items, we do still need items. So On the BRS podcast Facebook page, there is a pinned post. I made sure to pin it so that people could actually find it. And it is, there's a document with directions on what you'll need to do, because this year you're actually sending the items to the village. So you're not sending them to me, which is a little bit off my plate, which is kind of nice, especially having a, almost 2-year-old. But we're going to send it to the village. And so there's a form that you need to fill out for it's going to have information about what the items are. You have to send in a photo and things like that. But all the information about what you need to do is on the Be Our Guest podcast Facebook page in that pin post. It's very simple, very easy. We made it really, really, really easy to understand. But, we're looking for all kinds of items to be able to donate. So if you are crafty, if you make things, send those. Well, obviously, preferably Disney, but it doesn't have to necessarily be Disney. Look, I'm going to be honest. I go to Burlington. Burlington has like those clearance Disney items that they, that were in the parks, and then they, I think they probably go to the outlets, and then when they can't sell them at the outlets, they then sell them into Burlington. I'll go there, pick up items, and I have like a stockpile in my closet here that I'm going to donate for Give Kids the World. So I have ears and, stuff like that. So if you make ears or purses or, anything like that, but if you go and buy things, that's great too. If, just lots of things, it's such a great event. And then of course, during the event, you can take part in the auction, which is where all these items will be available. There'll be a website that you can go from Give Kids the World to bid on these items. But then you can also make donations as well. So, there'll be a place specifically to be able to make donations to Give Kids the World. And like I said, this is our big fundraiser. We are doing this with Magical Wishes for Kids, great partners of ours. We love them so very much. And yeah, it's going to be a great weekend. I'm so looking forward to it. So, I can't believe we are less than a month away. It's insane. So, please donate. Please, listen.
My dad's running the board for us, so we are set.
Everything,
I'm excited, so I don't have to sweat out setting everything up this year.
I mean, you're saying less than a month away. It's like 2 weeks from.
I know.
This era, so I'd say it's definitely less than a month away.
Less than a month away, and yes, you can still send in items. You can still make items and send them in. As long as they just get them in ASAP. But there's still time, so don't feel like, oh no, it's only 2 weeks left. You can still get those items in. So no worries. So.
All right. So do join us again. It's Saturday, March 8th. I know because my wife's birthday, I'm going to be gone on my wife's birthday because of this. So I'm catching some heat, but she loves it because she loves Give Kids World. She's fine with that. Her birthday's on that Friday. We'll be volunteering that day.
Nice.
She's not coming down. She's doing other things, but so we're going to be celebrating early. But join us on Saturday, March 8th from 10 to 4, because we'll be live just like this in all the places. We want to have tons of people tuned in live. And then what we do is we will rebroadcast the show in chunks like each hour throughout the year. So if you don't tune in live, you'll be able to catch the replays. But we'll have interviews, folks from the village. We'll take calls. We'll do drafts during the show, stuff like that. So we'll, lister questions, all kinds of stuff. So it'll be like a 6-hour live call-in show. All that fun stuff, but 10 to 4 Eastern time on Saturday, March 8th. So join us for that. All right. We are going to jump into Rikki's cruise. She just got back from the Disney Fantasy 5-night Bahamian, correct?
Yes. Bahamian.
Lighthouse and Castaway.
Yes.
All right. So tell us about how you why'd you pick the fantasy? Why'd you decide to go then and all that stuff? And then let's jump into the cruise, the highlights.
Yeah. So Brian and I were we were on my birthday trip at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and we were just sitting there talking, and we're like, we really haven't taken a vacation this year. We didn't have a vacation planned for last year. So we were like, what do you want to do? And so we were talking and trying to figure it out. And we knew we wanted to go on a cruise. We were trying to figure out what cruise we could actually go on, what would work, what would make sense for our schedule. And this February cruise just sort of popped up. It was a 5-night. We wanted a 5-nighter. we would have loved to have done a 7-night, but being away, because we actually left Lucy with Grandma and Grandpa, so being away from Lucy would have been a lot for 7 nights. We didn't want to do that to Grandma and Grandpa, so we figured 5 nights was the most we could stretch it, because I don't want to do a 3-night and 4-night. You know, we had just done a 4-night on our last cruise, so we were like, let's try something a little bit different. So this was the one that sort of just popped up on our radar. We would have loved to have gone on the podcast cruise, but unfortunately in Atlanta, there's the All-Star game in July, so Brian can't get away. So we were like, okay, well, this is the one that we can actually fit into our schedule. So that's kind of how we came up with it. We came up with it sitting on lounge chairs.
You saying Brian's an all-star?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's totally playing in the All-Star game. Yeah.
He's going to be preaching to all the fans in the stadium.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, we came up with the cruise idea, sitting on a lounge, actually sitting in the hot tub at Animal Kingdom Lodge. That's usually where we come up with our ideas for vacations, is while we're on vacation. We think of the next vacation that we're going to take.
It's time to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. I've done that too.
Yes. So yeah. So that's how we came up with this. And the fantasy was the one that popped up. Of course, I would have loved to have done the treasure. But you know, like I said, 7 nights just wasn't in the cards for us. So that's how
and the thing is, it's always going to be there, right? I mean,
exactly.
It's like the next one's always on the horizon. So okay, so the Fantasy is a great ship, and you know, now it's weird because the Fantasy was locked into the 7-night Eastern to Western for like 5-7 years. I mean, that's all it did. It just alternated Eastern Western out of Canaveral. Now it's weird, you know, for me, because like as a travel agent, like it's hard to like learn. Oh, but the Fantasy's not doing 7-nighters now. It's a pleasure, and you know, things are really weird with the new ships coming in, Destiny and everything. So it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. What I'm saying, but so now
Fantasy's going to the UK soon too, isn't it?
Exactly. Yes. We were talking to the people on the ship, and they, you know, the cast members on the ship, and they were talking about the fact that they were going overseas to the UK, and then the Fantasy does go for dry dock at the end of this year too. So we were talking about that a lot too. Yeah.
By the way, just real quick, do you have Morgan as the adult activities host?
We had Emmy.
Okay.
She's from Australia. Emmy was a lot of fun. She was really good.
Like I've seen Emmy before on a ship. Now you say that from Australia. I gotta go back and see some of my notes.
She was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Because Emmy is from the UK, and that's hard. She was fun. Anyway, so tell us. Let's kind of break it down like I do kind of on the Monday show. So arrival on the Fantasy. You've been on the Fantasy before, right?
We have. This was our
she was on the podcast cruise on the Fantasy.
That would have been 2017, right?
Yeah. So this was our second time on the Fantasy. I believe it was number 2. Yeah.
Okay.
So the only ones I haven't done now are the Wonder and the Treasure. Those are the only 2 that I haven't done still. So, so a little bit of a lead up for this cruise. My stress level was at an all-time high getting to this cruise, because let's see, 2 days before, I was packing, you know, it was like 9:30 at night, and Brian's like, hey, I'm gonna go for a walk around the neighborhood, and I said, okay, that's fine. So I was packing everything, and he's gone for about 5 minutes, and he comes back in the house, and he's like, babe, I need you to call 911. And I was like, okay. And he's like, I just got attacked. I got punched in the head, and my phone got stolen. So legit, it's happened in our neighborhood.
Always has the best stories, by the way. I mean, not just a good story, but he always has like stories. I mean, he's the world. He's really
yes. So it was 10 o'clock at night, and I'm calling the cops. It's super fun. Like 2 days before our cruise. So needless to say, I was definitely a little panicky about that. The next day we had to go get him a new phone, because he needed his phone for the cruise, because he was going to be working from the ship. And so because we were buying the internet package, so he needed a phone. So we had to go get him a phone. I got him a cheap phone. So then the next day, the day before we leave, Brian wakes me up, and he's like, hey, so Lucy threw up. So so I had to work from home that day. I had a sick baby on my hands, and by the way, we were driving down that night, so I was like, stress level was at an all-time high driving down. She got sick a few times in my car. It was super fun, let me tell you. I'm masked up, because I know you can't be sick on, you know, a cruise, and windows down as I'm driving down there, and I'm just like, I just need to get down to Orlando. That's all I need. Need to get to my mom and dad's. I need to get to Orlando. So my stress level was probably at like a 25 at that point by the time I was getting ready to get to the ship.
So wait, Brian got jumped like right outside your house, like in your neighborhood?
It was the street behind us. Yeah. Yes. So anyway, super fun.
Those guys.
Super fun 48 hours before my ship
all right,
left.
so let's get to the cruise because we only got like 45 minutes. I mean, we can totally get into all that.
I know, right? Yeah.
You're stressing me out.
We get on the ship. We had an 11:45 port arrival time, but we had to go drop the dog off at my brother's. So, and making sure Lucy was okay that morning. So we got a little delayed. So we didn't get to the port until about 1:30, which actually was fine. Yeah, we didn't necessarily get on as early as we wanted to, but we breezed through everything. So that part was really great, honestly. If you are looking to breeze through, that 1:30 time is like perfect, because I mean, we just walked on the ship.
You guys made the sail away.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. No, we were fine. Sail away wasn't until like 4. We're fine. So we were all good. And then we went and got lunch, and it was a little bit different, everything, but everything was great. Once we got on the ship, it was all good. This trip was different because we booked it so late. We had a later dining time. So we had the 8:15 dining time, and that is actually the first time we've ever had that. I have to say, I kind of loved it.
So it's so much better.
We're doing that on the podcast cruise this time for the first time ever. We're all doing it. Like I put us all on 8:15 because
it's so much better.
A lot of people requested that on the last podcast cruise. We've never done it, and we're going to try it. So.
I absolutely loved it. So a couple of things. One, because it was apparently the ship was full. I had heard that part. So, but we still ended up with a table to ourselves. So Brian and I ended up just having a table for 2, which was great, because we don't get to have dinner by ourselves very often since we had Lucy. So like, it was really nice to have kind of date nights on our table. We had a fantastic server. His name was Lazar. Lazar was so good. He kind of had like this dry, sarcastic sense of humor, but it was right up my alley. So like we got along really well. He had great recommendations. Matter of fact, when I went off recommendation, I ended up regretting it and ended up getting the thing that he ended up recommending later. Our best meal actually ended up being, besides Palo, which we'll get to, our best meal actually ended up being at an Enchanted Garden. They had a fish that he suggested. I never would have gotten it if he hadn't suggested it. And it was seriously like the best fish I've ever had in my entire life. So yeah, it was so good. So I wasn't really necessarily looking forward to the restaurants on the ship, just because obviously, with like the Wish and, the Wonder and the Magic, they all have a theme, at least one theme, really highly themed dining experience. And because of the Fantasy, when it was built, it didn't really have that kind of experience. And I don't think they're getting one during the dry dock either. So, there's not really a show or anything like that. So you do have, of course, Crush, but that's really just the same as Turtle Talk with Crush. So I don't necessarily love that. And I wish they'd do something else there as well. I like a more traditional, like Mickey Mouse show in that space. I would love to see that happen, but I don't think that will. But
I like that one. But can I ask you a question? So did you have animators twice? Because isn't there one night like you can draw like your own animation, right?
So they didn't do that.
Oh,
that is on the as far as I know, that's on the Magic. I know that's on the Magic for sure.
When we went, like
it was on the Fantasy when we did it. Yeah.
No, they did not do that.
I wonder if that's only 7-nighters. I wonder.
Maybe because
you animate.
What they ended up doing was I actually liked it better, to be perfectly honest. They had animation cells of all the past Disney movies, so you got to see like the artwork of maybe how Ursula originally was concept designed as, or you got to see the original concept design of say Maleficent, or things like that. So it was really interesting to see how the characters, the movies progressed as they went through the process of creating them. So I actually thought that was a really good Animators Palette experience. That was our first night actually, so that was good. But the 8:15 dining experience, you guys are going to enjoy it so much. It was so great because you didn't feel like you had to rush. Right, like as soon as you get back on the ship from, the port adventures or, Castaway or whatever, like you immediately have to rush. You have to go change. You have to take a shower. You have to do whatever. And this really just gave us time to just relax. We actually saw the shows for the first time in a while because we had time to really see them instead of feeling like we were being rushed into a show and then, whatever. The only downfall was usually we're used to going to the Rainforest Room after dinner because we did buy the Rainforest Room package. And obviously we can't do that because by the time we're done with dinner, it's over, it's 10 o'clock almost. So that was the only thing that we had to adjust. The other thing, of course, is adjusting to the fact that as soon as you're done with dinner, you pretty much go into the, the tube or, whatever for the evening show, the adult only show or whatever. But yeah, that was the 8:15 dining experience is so great. I would highly suggest it. And I will probably be doing that from now on. So that was really,
it's my
really
go-to.
good.
I love second dining so much.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to work out really well for our podcast crews because we have a lot of adults, and I think it'll be really, like you said, like it's when you get off Castaway and look out, you'll give time to kind of wash up. If you want to go see the show, then come to dinner. Then we can all roll kind of right into the evening activities down in the adult area if you want.
And I know it's about the fantasy, but just really quick on the Wish. It works out so well on the Wish because the Festival of Foods closes from 6 to 9 on the Wish. So if you're on that first dining, then you can't go back to it. So it's really nice for when you come back from your excursion or whatever, and you just grab a taco or something and hold you over for a little bit, and then you have dinner. Where vice versa, you can't do that if you have early dining. Your only option is the pizza later on when it's open. So I really like that on the Wish.
That part is big. The other thing I noticed as well, Cabanas is not open for dinner anymore, which it used to be prior to COVID. But it is not open at dinner any longer. At least it wasn't.
Can you still walk through there though?
You can walk through there, but there's no food. You're just
sometimes it's nice to just grab something and just sit down.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Where Marceline Market, they just
they board it off and they're like, do not enter. Yeah.
Which I dislike, but
yeah.
Awesome.
So tell us about your stateroom because you kind of talked about that on Wednesday. You had a unique stateroom. So where were you? What category? Tell us about that.
So I don't know what category, but we were in room 7004. It was literally the front
view, right?
Huh? It was Ocean View. Yeah, it was an Ocean View room. I booked it as a GTY guarantee room. That's kind of my go-to, especially when I'm booking later, to just book a GTY room because of the fact that I always book whichever category I'm comfortable with. So for this one, we were comfortable with doing an Ocean View room. Usually I'm comfortable with the inside stateroom, but this time we were like, it was a couple $100 more. So we were like, let's just go for it. But the nice thing about a GTY room is you have the possibility of potentially, if that category is sold out, of going up to the Disney and bumping you up to the next category. It's never happened for me. And I've booked a GTY room, quite a few times, but at least I have the opportunity potentially of getting a surprise. And the nice thing about this one was a lot of times you don't find your room out until really close to your actual sailing. This time I knew my room. I want to say it was definitely prior to the 90 days of being able to book.
Mine was the week before.
Yeah. So see, that's it you never know which way it's gonna go. So it was a great room though. So because it was in the front of the ship, I literally had the view out the bridge. What the captain sees is what I saw, which was really, really, really neat. The only downfall of the room, and I say this in quotes, is the fact that because it was in the front of the ship, obviously the ship is slanted right there. It's got kind of a slant. So our room had kind of a slant in the, for the ceiling. So it worked out because I just took that side of the bed because that's where the bed was. Yeah.
That's kind of a cool, unique room. I kind of like that.
It is. I have video of it and it'll be up on a Disney World after all's socials here as soon as I get the chance to edit it. But yeah, it was a really unique room. Now, the other part of it that was really cool is it actually felt a little bit wider than other staterooms as well that I've been in. So it just felt like a good size room. It had the split bath in it too, which usually, I guess because I usually get an interior room, it's usually just the one bath. But This one had the shower and the sink, and then it had the toilet and the sink as well in the other side. So it was a really great room. I highly suggest it. They obviously have the same room on the Dream as well. So if you're sailing either the Dream or the Fantasy, that's going to be on that ship. So it was really cool. It was a really cool room. So
sweet. Yeah. All right, so let's talk entertainment.
What deck were you on again? What deck was it?
7.
7. Okay.
7. Yeah. So it was great because we were at halfway. You know, we could walk. Yeah, 7. We could walk up to the top deck, or we could walk down below, and we didn't feel like super winded because we don't usually like to take the elevators unless I'm on deck 2 and need to go to deck 11. I'm not usually taking the elevator. I'm usually walking it. So that part was nice too. Was we were right in the middle of that. So. Yeah.
All right, so because I want to hear about Lookout, but I kind of want to say
yes.
That. But entertainment, like shows, not only the big shows, but like the stuff in the like in the tube stuff like that.
Yeah. So we had Frozen, which I had never seen on a Disney cruise ship before. So that was spectacular. I really love the fact that the puppets that they use for that show are so well done. The actors did such a great job with the performance. I didn't realize how much I liked the song Fixer Upper. And then I saw it on the stage and I'm like, that's actually a much better song than I thought it was. So
that crew, I mean, that's on the Fantasy is really, they're good, man.
They were excellent.
They do all those shows so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's like fleet-wide. Their performers are amazing.
Excellent. And then we also saw Aladdin, which I know we've seen on the ship. Brian didn't remember seeing it before, but again, they did such a phenomenal job, and they kind of like combined some of the obviously the animated version, but they also combined some of the live action version of the movie into the show. So there's a song that Jasmine sings now that was not in the animated version but was in the live action version, so they brought that in. But they did a really good job. We didn't see Believe. Brian was a little stressed at that point, but because he was actually figured out a way to work, so he was checking emails and he had a stressed out moment at that point, so we didn't end up going to see Believe. But overall, again, the shows were phenomenal. They were really good. As far as the movies that were on board, we didn't see any of those either. They had, Moana 2. They had a few others. They didn't have Captain America yet because that hadn't come out. But they had. I know Moana 2 was playing like all the time. They had Descendants showing as well. And then, of course, we were on the ship for the Super Bowl. So that was actually really interesting because I was curious to see how they were going to do it. We didn't care about the Super Bowl. Like we kind of caught a little bit, here and there. We went all over the ship to see kind of where they were showing it. They were showing it in O'Gill's, of course, which was packed. Of course, you expect it to be.
I love O'Gill's on the Fantasy.
It was great though. The atmosphere was fantastic. Yeah. I mean, those people were there for the game for sure. Yeah, they played it on the Funnel Vision, which again was such a great spot to watch the Super Bowl. Just up there. Obviously, there were a lot of Eagles fans on board. So they were.
If it's an Eagles fan, them.
You do, yes. You could find them. They also played it at Currents Bar. Actually, we sat outside of there for a while and caught it there. And they played it in the Buena Vista Theater as well, which I was surprised. The theater was pretty empty. I mean, there were a few people in there, but not nearly as many as I thought there would be. So everybody was definitely in the other areas for sure.
Yeah, it's not a great place. I wouldn't watch it.
No,
in the theater. It's too intimate. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to be like either on deck outside, or like in O'Gill's sports pub. The
one spot that I thought. It was actually interesting because that was the night of Frozen. So I was really surprised that they decided to continue with that and do Frozen that night. I thought for sure that they would
show it in the Walt Disney Theater.
I thought for sure they'd just swap things around because they had a cappella act that we also did not catch. We caught them in the tube the night before they performed in the Walt Disney Theater, but
or they had like the pipes and stuff and
no. This was what was their name? They're from Orlando too. I can't think of their name. Their name starts with an E, and I can't remember what it was.
Man, I love just random people that do that stuff, though.
But I was surprised that they didn't swap them out, and do them the night of the Super Bowl and Frozen the night. Yeah, but anyway, that was just a little minor thing that I was like, that was an interesting choice. But the shows were great. Of course, we had Match and Mate, right? excuse me. Match Your Mate was fantastic. It was so we saw this couple getting on the ship when we were boarding, and they were getting married at Castaway Cay, and so of course they were one of the couples that was chosen. And then because they were there with their family, their parents were also chosen to go up on stage. So it's awkward when mom and dad are up on stage.
No thanks.
So it was a very interesting Match Your Mate. Yeah, for sure. Mom and dad were very entertaining, for sure, to say the least. So we had a good time with that. The other shows, they were good. Emmy was our host, like I said, and she did a fantastic job. Emmy and Coops. I don't know if anybody else has had Coops before, but they were fantastic. It was. Let me just put it this way. I don't know how you feel about this, Scott, because obviously your shows were in Luna. And it's a much different experience being in Luna. And Brian and I were talking about this, and we think that why it's better on the classic ships is because it is more intimate, and those kinds of shows, like the 18 plus shows, they need that more intimate atmosphere. I feel like to kind of be successful. People kind of, I don't want to say they lose their inhibitions, but I feel like they lose their inhibitions. You know what I'm saying? Like you can have a little more fun when you're not kind of on display, I feel like. So Match Your Mate was so much better on the Fantasy. When we were on the Wish, it was like the most awkward Match Your Mate I've ever been in. And actually Brian and I left early because it was so boring. So, I feel like the space lends itself better for the adult entertainment on the tube. And I don't know how you feel about that, Scott. I'll ask you that question.
I mean, Luna's not the worst space. It's Trident across the hall that really bugs me.
Oh, yeah.
Because that is such a small, tiny venue.
It is very tiny.
At least Luna has like the upper seating, and it's actually like more comfortable than the theaters. Like the seats are wider for like a bigger guy like me, so it's a lot more comfortable. But so I kind of like Luna. The weird thing is that they had to monitor that so closely with
kids,
minors coming in.
Yeah.
So there's constantly cast members walking around checking for minors, and that's like kind of like makes the experience a little less, because then they're like constantly looking for people they just kind of get in the way sometimes. You know what I mean?
I get that. Yeah.
But
for sure.
Side note, if anyone didn't listen to Monday's show, friends of the podcast, Neil and Allie, won Match Your Mate on mine.
That's awesome! Congrats!
The Match Your Mate was highly entertaining because we knew we're friends with one of the couples.
And congrats to them for the wedding, right? They got
their
married.
wedding was gorgeous.
That's awesome. I'm so happy for them. That's so fantastic. Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, I will say too, just on that note, I do like, because right, like on the Dream and the Fantasy, like the Tube, you can get that place dark and like you're totally locked in. Like, I mean, even to walk into the Tube or Evolution, like you got to go through that like long hallway. Like it is totally secluded, and I like that in the adult venue. Because even but the way they're using, I forget what they call it on. It starts with an S on the Treasure.
Oh, Sarabi.
Sarabi or whatever it's called.
I think it's Sarabi.
Same venue as Luna, right? But they use it more for like this awesome show, like this an adult show, like it was an improv show. It was awesome for that, like because I was watching it from the upper deck, and like they're doing this like Adventurers Club, like kind of Indiana Jones type improv show. Where the audience is like,
and I like the upper deck.
It was great, like it was awesome for that. But you're right, it's not as great for like like being up close and like some kind of like crazy wild adult trivia kind of thing.
But with Luna though, like I think it's actually better than Evolution in a way in the Tube, because you can be closer in the upper level, and you have like, if you're in one of those corner booths in the corner, those round booths, you can like see the TVs, which I know is not the same as watching it filmed. But if you're in Evolution and if you're way in the back, like true. you can't see anything. You know what I mean? Because that's a huge space, and like so you could walk into the club and then see it's full, and then you go to the left, you're at a high top, and like you can't see anything sometimes in that theater. I feel like where Luna you can see a little bit more.
Yeah, I've never gotten to those locations late and have been in the back.
I've never.
Yeah, but sometimes it's hard to get up front.
Yeah.
Because I'm all in on that stuff. I love that. So you're right. It's a good point. I mean, there's more good seats in like the newer, the Treasure. That's good. Okay, so. Let's hear about first. Let's go with Lookout, because that's what everybody wants to know about. It's the newest place. So what did you think of Lookout? Then we can talk about Castaway, but Lookout.
So obviously everybody discusses the long walk. I mean, it's definitely a walk, I will say. It is. And Brian and I were talking about it too, and it was a very pleasant day that we were taking this walk. So it wasn't terribly hot. It was, it was nice. It was like low 80s. So like it was definitely a manageable walk. But I can see we're in the summer where it might get a little toasty. And you might, want to make sure you have some water with you while you're walking that stretch. But I will say once you get to Lookout, it is so unique. Brian and I had this discussion on the differences between Lookout and Castaway. And, really, I think what it boils down to is Castaway is more of a relaxation experience. You go there to sit on the beach and totally relax, get immersed in just that whole vibe. Whereas with Lookout, absolutely, you can go and relax on the beach and have a good time and whatever, and you're going to enjoy your day at the beach, right? But because but we really feel like it's more of a celebration of the Bahamian culture. So I feel like there's more activity on the island overall than there is on Castaway, because of the fact that they have some shows that you can go and experience. They have the cultural center, I think is what it's called, where you can do arts and crafts and things like that. And that part really is very unique, and I really enjoyed the fact that they had that. We caught the Rush a Junkanoo show, and a Junkanoo celebration show, and it was so great. It's short, I mean it lasts like 10 minutes or so, but it was so great to see the dancing, and Mickey and Minnie come out, and then they do a parade, and you go into the island a little bit more, and you can dance with the performers and stuff like that. But it's such a great kind of experience to kind of get that Bahamian culture, get ingrained in that was really great. I really do like a Lookout. I think it's not as shady, obviously. Disney has just built this island. It is less, or this portion of the island, because it is part of a bigger island, but it is obviously Castaway Cay has had more time to mature with their foliage and stuff like that, and Lookout definitely hasn't had that time. I think it's been less than a year since it's been open, so I think with time it will become very lush and even more beautiful than it already is. But for right now, it is definitely it is still kind of basic in that regard. It's not totally lush, but it's still beautiful. I mean, the island itself is gorgeous, and we really definitely enjoyed our time there. The family beach is great, and another really great part about it is you can walk from the family beach to the adult beach. We did that multiple times. Where we'd be in the family beach, or the main area where the celebrations were and stuff like that, and we walked to just along the shore back to the Serenity Bay beach, which was so great. Had there was it was a full ship, so getting a spot was a little difficult, a chair and stuff like that. So you do want to get off the ship a little bit early. Obviously, Brian and I are not early birds, so we didn't get off the ship early, but we found chairs, and we got settled in and stuff like that. So that was good. We had on the island, there's True True and True True Barbecue 2, and then there's I think it's what's Serenity Bay Barbecue, and we went to that one. Again, a really great meal there, really fantastic. They do have I believe they have the steaks there as well, but it was really good. Really good potato salad, not gonna lie. They have fantastic potato salad. So that's what we ended up getting, and some other stuff, some barbecue and stuff like that. But it was I got the barbecue chicken, which was really good too. They don't have cookies there, but they do have ice cream. They have and in the adult area, it's not the soft serve. They actually have like scooped ice cream, and then they put toppings on top, which was really good. So
I can do that. I can settle for that.
There's not a 5K course, is there?
There is not. However, I did see online this week that there was a pin that did say Lookout Cay 5K. So Lookout Cay 5K. There may be one coming. Don't know. It's just that total.
It's going to debut for when we're on it.
Exactly. Yeah. Enjoy the hot.
We don't have to have a 5K at every destination.
Yeah. Sure you do. It's Disney.
We don't have to have one at every island. I'm serious.
Yeah, but and then there's a tram to get you from the once you walk to the from the ship to the main part of the island. Then there is a tram that actually takes you to Lookout, which definitely you want to make sure you take the tram. Do not walk. You can't. I don't think you can walk it, but don't walk it. There's also a nature trail as part of it. We didn't do that, but I'm sure it would be lovely to experience the nature trail as well. So it's a great little island. I really liked it. I really liked it a lot.
Check it out. It's a new destination, new experiences, right? I mean, it's going to be beautiful. It's shared with Princess.
Yes.
Princess has the next kind of lot down the way on the island, and you got to hear the Love Boat.
I did, and I sent it to you. I'm like, oh my God, Mike, they're playing the Love Boat theme song.
Speaking of other friends, Ben Lappin was on the Love Boat, and he was off of Los Angeles. He was down by Mexico, but he was actually on Princess at the same time. So I was getting all kinds of Love Boat and love. And actually, I did Mike in the Midwest about the Love Boat.
Dude, so many of your people were cruising, Mike.
That's right.
Like Pam's cruising now, and like
exactly. Ben was on the Love Boat. Rikki sees the Love Boat out there with the horn. It was like, oh my gosh. Anyway, so let's talk dining. You kind of talked on Wednesday about some of your favorites at Palo. You talked about one of your best meals, Enchanted Garden.
Yes.
Kind of talked about a little bit of Animator's Palette on the fantasy, but any other outstanding any snacks, any things that caught anything we haven't hit?
So we did Palo dinner on Pirate Night. I do not like Pirate Night menu. So I always try to figure out which night is Pirate Night. And there is a little hack to figuring that out. You got to look on the app and see when they're having the Pirate League. Yeah, and then that'll tell you when they're doing Pirate Night. So I booked it and had a great server. She was our server for brunch as well. And I just had a fantastic meal. I got the gnocchi, which was so good. And of course I got the souffle. I mean, you can't go to Palo without getting the souffle. I'm just, it's not a possibility. I'm just saying. I mean, you can, but I mean, did you really go to Palo? It's not
recommended.
Yeah, exactly. Did you really go to Palo if you didn't get souffle? So, and then another thing that we took advantage of a lot is the Cove Cafe, which is the coffee shop. It honestly, this became such a home for us. We had such a good time with the cast members there. They became friends by the time you're all said and done, but one of the cool things about the coffee shop there is, yes, it does cost money to get the lattes and stuff like that, but it's not terribly expensive. Or if you're Brian and you've had a stressful day with work stuff, you can get a shot of whiskey. So there's that. Yeah.
Well, also you can get the little card where you get like your bonus,
which is what I ended up doing. Yeah. So you can they have a loyalty card basically, and you get 5 stamps and then you get a free coffee. So I definitely took advantage of that. One of the cool things too is they have the imprinter, so it will imprint a Disney character on the top of your latte, which is really kind of cool too. And here's a little hack: if you do get to say Castaway and you missed breakfast because you slept in, you can grab a pastry at the Cove Cafe. It is part of, and everything else is closed. You can grab a pastry at the Cove Cafe, and that you don't have to pay anything extra for that. So grabbed a croissant, which was a fantastic croissant. Oh my gosh, it was warm and delightful. And sat out on the deck and had it and my coffee, and it was perfect. So that was a good breakfast morning too. So did that. Had, of course, ice cream from Mike Wazowski's Ice Cream. And then we had cabanas the day that we got on the ship, which was good. They have the crab legs, which were yummy. Oh my gosh, so good. And breakfast a couple times at cabanas as well. Had breakfast at Royal Court. Royal Court is, I enjoyed the meal there as well. It's not my favorite, but restaurant overall. But I definitely enjoyed my meals there. They were very solid. So nothing really to complain about there either. But yeah, it was dining is it's Disney Cruise Line, so like dining is going to be top notch. I'm just going to say, and if there's anything that you don't like, please tell your server. one of the nights I like I said, my server, Lazar, he was so great and he gave all these recommendations. And of course, one night I did not listen to him. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get the pork chop. And that was a huge mistake. So I got the pork chop. I cut into it and I was like, this is the toughest pork chop I've ever had in my entire life. And it was funny because I told him, I was like, yeah, this is a really tough pork chop. Can, I get something different? And he like cut into it and like sliced it like butter. And I'm like, of course you did. And then like, I thought he was going to he stabbed at it, grabbed some of the risotto, and I thought he was going to feed me. And I'm like, are you feeding me this?
They will. They're looking for tips, man. They'll like, here comes it down the airplane.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, no, I'm just handing it to you. I'm like, oh, okay, that's good. But yeah, I ended up getting a steak later that night. I was like, yeah, let's just switch that for the steak that you suggested. So, definitely listen to your server. I'm just going to say that the best tip. But yeah, the dining is always top notch. So it was good. It was really
good. Because we're running a little long, but what about like trivias or anything like that? Like any other highlights?
Yeah, so I do have another highlight. So we did Castaway Cay as well. Again, just kind of lounged on the beach for the majority of the day. But while we were, Brian, like I mentioned before, Brian and I got the rainforest pass, and this is where we do our best thinking, is in the rainforest room in the hot tub.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. So we were talking about our next cruise. So we have plans. We're debating what we're doing for the next cruise. We've already got our next vacation kind of semi-planned. So that was step one. But the other thing that we were talking about is Brian was kind of looking at things and he's like, hey, what is there to do? Actually, no, this was on deck 4. He's like, what is there to do on, Castaway? Is there any, because we hadn't done any excursions or anything like that on the ship. And, it's like, oh, let's look at, the itinerary of everything they have. And of course they have, the snorkeling that you can do and the glass bottom boat. And keep in mind, this was a day before Castaway, maybe 2 days. And so we were looking on the app and we saw parasailing. And he's like, oh, I've never been parasailing. And I said, oh, I have, it's a lot of fun, like it's really great. And he's like, you want to do it? And I said, are you sure? Because remember, I live with Mr. Fiscally Responsible. So I knew how much it was. And I was like, are you sure you want to go parasailing? And he's like, yeah, let's go do this. So I said, oh, okay. So we went up to the Port Adventures desk and we booked it.
There's a hack to that because I signed up Mallory and her cousin when we went on the past summer. We went to the Eastern Caribbean on the Fantasy.
Yeah.
And I signed them up because the 2 times before I signed them up, they got canceled. That parasailing always gets canceled because if it's windy, gets canceled all the time. So most of the time you don't have to pay for it. Unfortunately, this past time it was good.
You had to pay for it.
They had a blast. They loved it. They got awesome pictures. But I was like, they're gonna really go and I have to pay for this. But they had a fun time. But I was like, dang, I got to pay for 2 now.
Yeah. It was not cheap. I will admit that. You're sailing on Castaway Cay. There are other places you can parasail that's a lot cheaper, but it's a little iffier as well. So
that's my gambling right there, and I lost that.
Exactly, you lost. Yeah. But I will say I got the money shot. So I have the shot of us parasailing and the Disney Fantasy in the background. So I paid for my money shot. Let's just be perfectly honest. But it was such a cool experience. I have video of it. You can see it on Disney World After All socials because I've already posted it. And you can just see the look of terror on Brian's face. I'm excited because I'm like, let's go, let's do this, let's have fun. And because I'd been parasailing before, so I was like, this is great. And so, and then we, take off and he has more look of panic on his face. And then we get up in the air and I'm like waving my arms around, like going, this is fantastic. And he's like holding on to the rope so tight. And I'm like, hold my hand, So I made him hold hands with me while we were parasailing. But it's about maybe a 5-10 minute, ride. You have other people on the boat with you. It is not put on by Disney Cruise Line. There is a separate entity that does it. So just keep that in mind. It is a separate entity. One thing to also keep in mind that I did not is they do accept tips. So make sure you have cash. I didn't carry cash with me, so oops. So just kind of keep that in mind because I wasn't, thinking about it at the time. And also I don't think I had a lot of cash before I went on the cruise in the first place on me. So, because again, I don't carry cash. I'm a millennial. I don't carry cash. So so just keep that in mind. But yeah, it was a fantastic experience. I would highly recommend it. So this is my tip for them, I'm giving them a recommendation of you should absolutely consider doing parasailing if you are on Castaway Cay, because they did a great job. I mean, it just did a top-notch job. I felt very safe in their hands. They sounded like they knew what they were doing. And again, you get that money shot of the ship in the background, so you can't pick a better spot to do parasailing. So
I did it with Paige back in the day. It was a lot of fun. It was good. It was a lot of fun. So I mean, it sounds like the Fantasy is a great ship. I love the to me, the Fantasy, because it's got O'Gills, it's got the tube. It's a wonderful ship. And
it is.
For me, the Dream and the Fantasy, like as far as ships, flow the best. Like to get around.
I agree.
Navigation. I mean, because I love the Treasure and I love the Wish, but they're choppy. Still the layout of the ship's a little choppy.
Yeah.
Because like deck 4 doesn't go all the way through,
right?
Know, that kind of stuff.
We did many walks on deck 4.
So did Pam and I, like, 'cause we were on the 7-nighter, like we didn't run, but like after dinner, because we were on 7 cruise, like we just walk a few laps. We had 3 sea days.
So we got the popcorn bucket. Another tip is get the popcorn bucket the first night.
Yep.
This sailing did not have specialty popcorn buckets, so I was very sad. But they did have a Disney Treasure one, which I thought was weird, but okay. So we got that one, and we had popcorn at least once every single night of the cruise. Walking around deck 4, eating our popcorn, before dinner. And we attempted to play shuffleboard a few times. I have no idea if we played it right, because we've never played it before.
Yeah, they just shoot the pucks and
that's pretty much what we did. We were like, I think this is how you do this.
Unless you're from New England or something, or like Florida. Yeah.
So, but it was a lot of fun. Deck 4 was great, and just walking around the ship was good. So it was good. I agree with you. There's definitely a better layout on the Dream and the Fantasy, and I hope, because we know the Destiny will have the same layout as the Wish and the Treasure. I hope the next ships will have more of that feel of the Fantasy and the Dream and have more cohesiveness. I really do hope that will be the case.
And the Magic and the Wonder also have that cohesiveness.
Yeah, they do.
They're very easy to navigate. They're super, actually probably easier than the Fantasy and the Dream, because they're tighter. And I can't wait. So Ricky, sounds like you had a great. I was so jealous because you guys were both cruising and I was just sitting at home watching. Jealous, but no.
Let me give one more tip before we head out. Here's your tip of the day. After you get a new cell phone, please make sure you take your cell phone out of your pocket before you get in the hot tub.
Oh my gosh, you guys are like accident prone.
No, just my husband. That sucker got boiled for a good 15 minutes in the hot tub. Before he realized that it was in his pocket, and he was babe, I don't want to tell you this, but remember that new phone that you just bought me like literally 2 days ago? It doesn't work anymore.
That's basically how I got my first iPhone in the Lake River at Coke Park the day before a wedding. Same thing. I jumped in with it in my swim trunks.
Our server attempted to get us a rice. I was like, do you have rice? So he went into the storage. That's why I said Lazar was the best. He went in the storage, got us rice for me in a bag. They didn't have, a Ziploc bag, so I just put it in a bag. Yeah, that sucker didn't come back. So I'm sitting in the rainforest room ordering him a new phone. So that was literally, he had the phone delivered to my mom and dad's the day we got off the ship. So don't check your pockets.
Check your pockets. Yeah. Get in the hot tub. That's good advice.
Yeah, definitely.
It's more expensive.
I said, who puts pockets in swimsuits? Why is that a thing?
You always have them. I mean, you got to put your room key in there or something, He
wore his room key. No, who puts pockets in swimsuits? Don't do it. So anyway, he had 2 new phones in the course of 48 hours.
He just didn't like that one.
He did say that the second one I bought him is better. So whatever.
Smart man. Brian's a smart guy. All right, well, we're going to jump out of here and let everybody get on with the weekend. But man, it's going to be great to be on a cruise. I can't wait for July. You got me super pumped. We're going to be sailing with our friends. We got a lot of podcast listeners. We're going to have a blast. Disney Magic. I think we're at about 130 days ish.
Nice.
For the cruise.
That's awesome.
Can't wait.
I'm so jealous of you guys. I wish it would have worked out. Stupid all-star game.
Oh, your husband's an all-star. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
All right, don't forget, our show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Walt Disney World, Disneyland, or Disney cruise. If you sail with Disney Cruise Line, we'll get you great onboard credit to enjoy during that cruise and spends just like cash, and you can do all the fun stuff. You can parasail with that money. You can play with the stingrays at Castaway Key. You can buy drinks with that money. You can buy merch on the ship, hats, quarter zips like Scotty G enjoys, all that stuff. It's great. So just come over today over to themagicforless.com. No additional cost to you. We'll take care of you right there. Also, don't forget our Amazon affiliate link. If you click that link, it supports our show when you do all your shopping. We really appreciate that. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys keep the show on the air. $5 a month is all it costs, and you get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this week. We'd love to have you. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Give us a follow on the social media. I'm at beourguestmike on Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. You can check out Scott at Epscott, EPSCOT, but also at Must See Adventures over on YouTube. So check out all the stuff over on YouTube this weekend. Subscribe, like. Scott, anything going on this weekend over there real quick?
This weekend, I should have a new series starting. It was our Thanksgiving Walt Disney World visit. So episode 1 should be dropping. I'll say I was a little grumpy that day. I was on 2 hours of sleep, and my cabin didn't get ready till like 6 p.m. So a little grumpy.
Hey, but Grumpy Scott is good for ratings.
It is. Like you're never. I did say I was editing it a little bit today, and I heard myself say like I just want to run over these golf courts in my car because there's so many parts here. So I was I would never run over anyone, but
that's gonna get twice the downloads of any other episode. I'm telling you,
it's gonna get so many dislikes, but it's all good.
No, it's good for ratings. You know,
I love it.
It's like reality TV or something. Yeah, the trash stuff always gets better ratings. So there you go.
That's true.
And check out Rikki at DisneyWorldAfterAll.com. She says she's got all the content from today's show, so check it out. You will see the videos and all the good stuff. It'll be there, so we'll check that
breakdowns of every single day. Yeah, we got it. Yep.
All right, no live show this weekend because Mallory is in state cheerleading championships, but we'll come back and have those next Sunday night. All right, so have a great weekend, everybody. So for Scott and Rikki, I'm Mike, wishing you a fun and safe weekend. Hang in there, stay safe, stay warm, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. All righty.
So, question for you. I wrote down a note to myself. So that Give Kids the World, like, I don't know a whole lot about this. Didn't really plan on going. Do you want me to like kind of record virtually? Is that something you want me to do, or do you need me that day? Or just let me know, I guess. But
well, if you can be there, it'd be better. But we could bring you in virtually.
I mean, I just don't know a whole lot about it, so it wasn't really on my radar.
It's the same thing as last year. So like we're gonna volunteer on Friday and then do the show on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean it's probably gonna be hard for me to do. Like,
yeah, absolutely understood.
Be able to pull that off.
Yeah,
like
I understood for sure. But, so totally get it.
We could bring you in virtually. I think. Yeah, we should be able to. I mean. Yeah,
I just didn't know if you needed me to like be on like virtually.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't be there, we'll bring you in virtually. Yeah.
I don't think I'll be there.
No, I know at this point, no. Yeah.
To like get a day off, like this close notice and all that. And I got Hawaii coming up right after that. So
Hawaii. Yay. That sounds
like I thought you were coming, but I'll bring you in virtually. Yeah, I thought you were gonna be there. Okay, my bad. I
haven't like heard a whole lot of. I mean, I've heard you mention it every now and then, but I didn't know a whole lot about it. So, and then you just did this long thing about it today. I was like, oh, like I gotta ask about that. So
you're all good. No worries.
So I haven't said much about it.
All good.
All right. Well,
was Brian all right though? That was a crazy story. Like,
yes. Oh my God.
Beat up or something? Like,
yeah. So he was walking in the neighborhood, and Brian, he was just talking on the phone, right? Like his phone was in his pocket of his coat, and he was just talking on it. And he saw this guy before walking on the main road but on the opposite side. And then all of our streets end in like cul-de-sacs. So he was walking on the cul-de-sac behind us, and he was literally on the phone with his friend. And all of a sudden, this guy is walking up the same path as him, and he's coming toward him. And Brian's, and Brian's like, oh, excuse me, or whatever. And then the guy just punches him in the back of the head. No word said. Just punches him. And obviously Brian was disoriented, and he's like, his phone